love kindness.
We love kindness.
This is an example of women supporting other women,
It
women
is.
empowering other women.
Happy Women's History Month. Women's History Month is a special time emphasizing amazing accomplishments of women. For this reason, this very moment is special, as we, 4 women, have come together to discuss a matter plaguing less fortunate women globally, hoping to make a difference by impacting women in our local community and beyond. I was first introduced to period poverty through a reading/paper assignment in my undergraduate program at Liberty University. At that time, I remember thinking, what an unfortunate circumstance for third world countries. As I was reintroduced to this issue through the form of philanthropic work, I realized this isn't simply a third world country deficit. This is something happening right here in America. My name is Keisha Bogart, and I'm the moderator of this conversation. Today, I have the privilege of having 3 distinct voices contributing to this conversation from each of their vantage points. Collectively, we are striving to advance the global conversation about period poverty. DJ Raspy and I are hosting an annual Skate for a Cause event geared towards uplifting women and girls suffering from the issue of period poverty. DJ Raspy is a local educator, mentor, and DJ with roots in Nigeria. Please share with us why the issue of period poverty is important to you.
Well, thank you, Keisha. It's actually 2 reasons that this is really important to me. First of all, I've been very open about me struggling with fibroids and just the emotional and physical toll that comes with that. And so I always think about how like fibroids comes with really heavy cycles, emotional issues, and things of that nature. Just because of the hormonal stuff. And I couldn't even imagine not being able to have the materials and the things that I need in order to feel clean and to be able to go to work and to operate on a regular basis. So I always think about that. Just all the female issues that are out there and that plague women. Only women know how that feels. And so I'm just very empathetic to individuals who can't afford to be able to get things, those necessary basic things that they need in order to be, you know, emotionally safe and to feel clean and to just be able to operate on their basic and daily activities. So that's one reason. And number 2, I'm doing well now, but there was a time when I left my job and I didn't have another job, so I had to get part-time work. And I had an apartment, I had a car note, and there came a few months where I could not afford to buy menstrual products, and my mom had to let me borrow money. And I just look at that as one of like the lowest parts in my life, that I wasn't able to provide things for my basic necessities. So I look at that because I was able to lean on somebody, my mom, to be able to provide me with money to buy those things. But a lot of women are not able to lean on someone. They don't have someone that they're able to go to get money for those things. So just keeping that in mind, I just really take to heart that this is something that I want to provide for women who can't. I want to be that person that they can lean on to provide something for women that they can't provide for themselves.
DJ Raspy just talked about something that is really heavy, in that she was able to lean on someone in a time of need, and not everyone are able to. The expense of sanitary products can be costly. As recently, maybe as early as last year, and Dr. Johnson can tap into it more than I can because I'm not all the way abreast, but there was or is a luxury tax applied to sanitary products. And I don't know if that changes from state to state, country to country, but please, Dr. Johnson, who is here representing She Supply, a nonprofit organization out of DFW, she can please go into that question.
So the luxury tax was a tax that was supposed to be on things that were luxurious, not, you would think, pads and tampons. And it prevented women who had access to government resources like the Lone Star card or the WIC card to use those resources to purchase feminine hygiene products. We have lobbied for that pink tax, tampon tax, luxury tax on these items to be eradicated for years and years. It was voted on in June of last year, and in September of last year, the tax was eradicated. So that does mean that women who have access to a Lone Star card or WIC services can use those cards, but we're still left with the fact that tampons, pads, these feminine hygiene products cost so much money. You know, the same as a cup of coffee. And, you know, $25 a year will pay for someone to have feminine hygiene products all year long, but so many women, 1 in 3 women miss work, 1 in 3 girls miss school, 1 in 3 women miss work, 1 in 3 girls miss school because they don't have access to products. That keeps them from being in leadership roles, it keeps them from participating in sports at school or other community activities. It's really, really important that they have access to that, and they're not provided by schools, which is something else that She Supply is working with.
Wow. So they can't provide them at school because of the price point or because of other reasons, or you're not sure?
They don't provide them at school because they're not deemed necessary. They're the least donated item to food pantries. In Dallas ISD in 2021, it was voted that feminine hygiene products would be provided to all schools, and that has yet to be enacted. One of the projects that we're working on is a pilot program with it's called Eal Pads, and it's pads on a roll. And so it started in Europe because really countries outside of the United States do a better job addressing or at least acknowledging period poverty than we do. And so we're working with a pilot program that will provide these pads to schools at a vendor cost that is reasonable, but we have to get the ISDs to deem it necessary. And so we're starting with Title I schools, but even in non-Title I schools, there's still girls who don't have access to pads. So they go to the nurse's office, or they go to the social worker, or they don't go to school, which is really tragic.
I can't remember the textbook that was assigned or the reading assignment in my undergraduate class, but I was introduced to that very idea that people literally miss school, girls, not people, miss school because they don't have, or work, because they don't have access to something that may seem small to us, but it is a big, significant, right. Wow.
Just being in education, there's so many times that girls have come and just asked me for my personal products, and the teachers in my school on their Amazon wish list is always pads. It's always pads because the students will ask them for, you know, sanitary napkins and stuff like that too. So that's so true. They don't have it when they come and they don't have anything, and so they come to us and come to the teachers to be able to get something.
Wow.
And as a physician, I interface with the school nurses, and they can always tell a young lady who might be in need of pads. They purchase them out of their own money. They buy an extra set of tampons or extra box of tampons or pads simply because these are the same girls who their phone is dying, so they might need to charge their phone, or, you know, they come and say, hey, miss, can I borrow a pad? Can I have a pad? In fact, I just received an email from a girl doing her social work internship at an Irving school, and she said on average she has 3 to 4 girls a day coming not one time but 2 times to see if they could have a pad for the day.
Yes.
And it's humiliating enough to have to ask for that.
Right.
You don't want to have to ask again. And so, you know, we try to do things like do packaging. Like we just had an event where a corporation made sort of what they call these packaging bags. They put maybe 5 or 10 pads in there, or 5 or 10 tampons, and then we can distribute them to the school. I do that when I do the maturation talks, but it's unfortunate. And it's really unfortunate that some districts have voted and agreed that they would provide these products, but financially, I don't know what holds them up. I mean, I was so excited in 2021 when DISD said, yes, we're definitely going to provide these for schools, yet it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Wow. And to chime in off of the pun that DJ Raspy probably didn't even know that she made, she mentioned Always. Always is a company that is actually one of their mottos, one of their philanthropic works is that they are no longer providing samples of their pads, but any freebies, if you will, that they're giving away is geared towards ending period poverty. I just saw that on their website the other day. Yeah, I just saw that on their website. to ask Dr. Johnson, what are ways that the listener may be able to donate or give back to She Supply as you all strive to end period poverty?
Well, you can go to our website, shesupply.org, and as I said earlier, $25 will provide one woman with a year supply of pads or tampons if they should need that. We always need volunteers to help us when we go out and talk to Title I schools, when we are doing packaging events, just when we get bulk packaging and have to sort through and get them set up to do delivery. We have 22 partners, and we really work with agencies that are already working with women. We learned the hard way that there are agencies that are already in this space and working with women and young girls, and so why should we go out and reinvent that? Let's partner with them. And so we drop ship or deliver, sometimes in person, sometimes drop ship the items to these facilities, these homeless shelters, domestic violence shelters. I go to the Title I schools and do maturation talks. We're going to go to a lock-in for a middle school at the beginning of next month, and we talk about period poverty. And then I take that as an opportunity to also talk about stay in school and the other things that you can do. You don't just have to be locked into what your experience has been. But volunteering with our organization, going to our website, people want to do hands-on, and we just finished a packaging event where it's really pretty impressive. We did this last Saturday. We packaged 5,000 pairs of underwear.
Wow.
I thought, we're never getting these underwear out of here. 5,000 pairs of underwear in record time. We had 30 volunteers. We packaged them out to be delivered to all of our partner agencies, and it took about 40 minutes to do that.
Nice.
And so, but really, it's just a lot of camaraderie. I mean, it's women and husbands and brothers, and, though we really can, we're very much a female organization, and very proud of that. Our husbands and our sons all participate in this. If you have a mother, sister, wife, girlfriend, you are also participating in this. The funny story, my son had to he did a project when he was in high school as capstone. He decided to do on She Supply. Really, I think it was because he was being lazy and that's what he knew. But I made him go and purchase items, and he went to the store and he said, there are so many tampons and pads, it's worse than the salad dressing aisle. So
There are lots.
So there's lots of ways to be involved, but you can go to our website and it tells all the different volunteer events we have. Sign up to be a volunteer, and we'll send out we do a blog every other month or so telling what we're doing. Upcoming, we're working on the Summer of She, where we're challenging people to collect 100 boxes of tampons or pads or products, and then we have a great big giant packaging event at the end of the summer. Last year, I think we collected almost 9,000, and we just had another packaging event with a corporation where they gave us, I don't know how many pads it was. I think it was like 120,000 products that we kind of packaged up that we're going to be delivering to the schools. So we always have opportunities like that. And finances are definitely important. We are an all-volunteer organization. All of our money, except for things like our accountant and things like that, are all redirected definitely back to purchasing products for the young women and the women that we serve in DFW.
Got it. You can also, she didn't mention, but they have an Amazon wish list on their website that's linked that you can go and, what you Amazon people do. You can go and hit up Amazon, add it to the cart. Amazon will take care of the rest. So I thought that was pretty amazing as well for those of you who are listening who are not local to the DFW but still want to support. You can support in that way. As I mentioned previously, in my undergrad work, I was introduced to period poverty. At that time, I didn't know that it was called period poverty. I think it may have been described as something else. Nonetheless, in this philanthropic work, I've linked with the women that are sitting beside me, and one of the ladies, Hannah, has also created, or at least is establishing, a nonprofit organization designed to assist women in Ethiopia. Hannah, would you please tell us a little bit about what your organization does and what is compelling you to leave your mark on this work?
Period poverty really is personal to me, and the reason I want to work and educate people in Ethiopia and in Africa especially is because of what I experienced when I was 13-year-old, and it was very difficult and terrifying, and painful because I didn't have the opportunity like you guys have, the privilege. I can say that. I didn't have the education, and I went through really, really rough time. And when I was 13, and when I say my first period, I didn't know how to take care of myself. I didn't know what to do. And I came from school, and my parents was staying. And I come home, like, I have 5 brothers and father, and it was very difficult. I didn't know how to explain to them because it's taboo. This is something that you don't talk about it, especially with the religion that we practice, is no. And even when you are on your period, you can't go to church. You can, but you can't get inside the church because you're not clean. And it's very hard for me to go and, hey, Dad, this and that. And my mom passed away in that time, and it was really hard. So we have as a family member living with us, and I discussed with her. And I said, hey, Ayalich, what do you want me to do? This is happening. And what she told me is, like, just cut the bed sheet and use it. And then just wash it and repeat. That was, and I refused to do it, but I didn't have any option.
Right.
So I have to do it. And I did it. And repeat that step. And I didn't talk about with anybody. And finally, the next time, I didn't feel like using that kind of stuff. And I discussed with my brother. When I talked to him, he was like, oh, our eldest brother, they discussed and they got me pad. But still, going to school, you use one pad. You don't have a restroom to go and wash and change. Or if you have change, you have to roll it and you bring it back home.
Oh, man.
And you're embarrassed because you have people talking about you, and it's like very hot, like city.
Right.
And you smell. And it was, I'm telling you, it was very difficult time that I went through. So now, that is the reason I want to work on this. I want to educate people. I want to go out and support and help people. That's what I want to do.
So you are, is your goal to be able to supply products? Like, you want to be able to ship over internationally? Do you just want to be an educational resource, or above all of it?
All. The first thing I want to do is, try to ship product. The second thing is find a different way. Like, some of the places, rural area, do not have waste management. Like, how they gonna control that? That's gonna be a big issue too. So, reusable material.
The cup.
That's kind of one of my thing. Or even go and find out, like, sewing machine providing and fabric, working with some kind of manufacturing company, and they can sew. If I provide the pad and they can use or reusable, I don't know. I'm thinking about
or the reusable cup.
Yeah.
When you don't have
when
access.
you don't have access, like, let's say that, and that's true to, like, students, like, they miss school because they don't have access. Even if you have the pad, like, a whole day without cleaning,
Yes.
you don't have disposal, and it's really difficult.
Or just one pad all day. I can't imagine.
That's,
And
Because I imagine the resources are limited. You only have one or two or whatever the case. Or you might not be able to get to a store if you're in a rural area to purchase more. And the price point is too high. It's just, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, even the price, like if you say, I don't know if you know, like about Ethiopia a lot, some of rural areas, the school doesn't have
Restroom. Wow.
clean restroom to go, this young girls go and, use to change and do all those stuff. That's really difficult. And they have to stop going to school 4 days or 3 days, whatever day they bleeding, or drop out.
Oh, man.
That is really a big issue.
So resources like the cup or period panties that you could wear all day and then you can get home, you don't have to worry about a place to dispose of them, would be ideal. And some of the organizations in Southeast Asia, they are making those types of things. And it never occurred to me that maybe at school you didn't have a place to dispose of a paper product, but sometimes the reusable products are probably a better model anyway, if that's possible, but especially if you don't have a place at school to even dispose of a used product. So the period panties and the cups would be, but there also has to be the piece about education about how to use
Education,
them.
exactly. Education first. I think that should be the first thing what we should do, in my opinion, because some of them don't know, and like, what is happening?
Right.
Yep.
I do the maturation talks for She Supply, so I get to go and talk to, in 5th grade in the United States, or at least in Texas, we introduce girls to, and boys to puberty and what happens with that. And some of the, probably the best thing that I get to do several times a year is talk to 5th graders, and they have amazing questions. They don't have to say them out loud. I usually get them to write them down, but sometimes they don't have a mom in the family or an aunt or an older sister. And it seems like something's just happening to them that is so very frightening. So it's, I think education all the way around. Education about what happens when your body changes. Education about what are the products that are available. Education about this is an issue that we don't think about, that period poverty is here.
Yeah.
It's in other countries, it's in this country. How can we all work together?
Exactly.
Or if they don't have that female figure in the house, even if they do have the female figure in the house, but the conversations are just not free, so they don't know how to go about having that conversation. I think that's important. So maybe even like mentors or guardians or whoever, angels, whatever you want to call them, could be very beneficial. Right. But maybe not set up that same way in Ethiopian schools.
Right, because the taboo to even.
So that's a whole different dynamic. Wow.
It's a barrier.
It's a barrier. So this philanthropic work has afforded us, as you can see, the privilege, the opportunity. Raspy and I, as I mentioned before, we're hosting an event, and now it seems like it's turning into an annual event, which is great. We tried to make fun with it and do a skate for cause, or skate for a cause. So it will enable or facilitate mingling, being outside, having an active lifestyle while you skate. You can meet other women, you can discuss some of these conversations or other conversations, but we're also asking that you bring an unopened sanitary product package so that we can donate, in this instance, to She Supply, which is the local organization in DFW. And you can also read more, hopefully, about Hannah's organization here in the near future as she gets hers off the ground. But this is an important conversation, and it should change your perspective. I know it's changed ours as we're sitting here discussing. Do either of you have any more input, insight that you want to share as we wrap this conversation up, or anything you want to say?
I just wanted to say thank you so much to you, Keisha. I know Keisha's probably like, leave me alone, DJ Raspy. So she said it's turning into an annual event, because Keisha is just such a mastermind at creating opportunities for us to be able to network with other individuals, like with She Supply, with Hannah and her organization. And so she just really takes it to the next level. I'm just her assistant, so I really appreciate her helping my dream come true with this. And it was also a blessing also to find She Supply, because we had a different organization at the beginning that really didn't match or align with our values. And She Supply 100% matches with our values. And they jumped on board so quickly. And so we just really want to encourage you to help us to be able to help these women. Me and Keisha always are like going back and forth and say, sometimes these opportunities don't get the attention, that we're not going to go viral, trying to trying to collect sanitary products, but we wish that we could, because the more that we get out there and the more that we touch people, the more that we're able to get donated products to touch other people's lives.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank Keisha for doing this work and for kind of coming along with me on doing this, and everybody for their support, because it just means so much to us to be able to help women in their time of need. So this is an amazing collaboration, and I just really appreciate being a part of it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming out on a Saturday. I appreciate it.
And
I'm so glad you made it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm very, very happy to be
Aw.
Yes.
We need to partner.
Yeah.
here. Yeah, and yes.
Collaborate.
We love crying. We love crying.
History Month, and this is an example of women supporting other women,
It
women
is.
empowering other women.
Exactly.
And what a great example to, I think about what we started with She Supply impacted my daughter. I think that's why she's going to do public health and medicine. It empowered her, that one small thing, and she always says the small gesture in the spirit of kindness creates the biggest change. This conversation will make it easier for other women to have this conversation, and other men and young girls will see this.
Yes.
And they have helped me with She Supply. I can help you with what you're trying to do, and you're going to help someone else. And we just keep passing it
going.
on.
That's
That's
it.
how we do it. That's how
That's
we
it.
do it.
Exactly.
That is how we do it.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Aww.
Good.
That is.
This is going to be amazing.
It is.
This is going to be amazing. Yeah.